Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I'm JJ and this over here is Mr. Jared. Thank you so much for tuning in and choosing to vibe bright with us in our cozy corner of the internet. It makes Jared and I very, very happy, doesn't it? Jared loves you. He's so easy to please, honestly. If you like this video, if you're liking this content, you guys make sure you subscribe to my channel, smash that like button, and let me know what's going on. Let me know what resonates. Let me know what kind of content you want to see coming through. Feel free to follow me on Instagram at JJAbuHassan for more VibeBright content all week long. For today's VibeBright vlog, I wanted to talk about something kind of personal, my sobriety journey and what that's been like. What I have always struggled with really in any spiritual work, any healing work, even when it comes to like fitness and health and wellness, was I always found that I would make leaps and bounds in either department, right? And I'd be doing so well throughout the week, eating right, doing good, all this stuff. And my thing was always like, I would party so much on the weekends. I'd give that to myself. My thing was always like, I've worked so hard, I'm gonna like have fun on the weekends. And I cherish my weekends. Weekends are holy for a reason. My translation of that in my life was always to have fun. For me, having fun has always been partying, going out. I would just feel that guilt, you know, of waking up hungover. For me, the alcohol was definitely a big just catalyst for like wanting to change something and not knowing how to start or how to go about it. Because I found like I would get lost in the party scene and just having fun, but then like during the week I'd be, you know, going to school or working my job and doing spiritual work, going to yoga. So I would always feel like, oh, I have to start from scratch now because of that depletion, that energy. In gay culture, like really, we fucking love partying. Like, life is a big party and the gays know how to party, and across the board as adults it's like, what do you do for fun? What do you do at the end of the workday? You know, you go to happy hour, you have drinks with your coworkers, with your friends, you hang out, you relax, you're having some beer, you're having some wine. And for me it was never like, thankfully I never got to a point of real like a big addiction or alcoholism, but it did come to a point where for the longest time, especially through college, that I had to drink to have a good time. And I noticed in my head, it was like, when are we gonna start? Like, when are we gonna start drinking? When are we gonna party? And if you know me out here, like, I've been a party animal. Stop, you're making me blush. Don't tell him anything. Jared doesn't know about any of this stuff. So, this is a lot for us. Anyways, yeah, and so I kind of created an identity around. I did realize, I was like, okay, this is obviously an issue for me because it's getting in the way. It's really getting in the way of me up-leveling. And I didn't know what the hell I could possibly do because I was like, I'm feeling so called to keep doing this. Like, I would have some scary times, you guys. I'd have some scary times, you know, like, thank God, you know, nothing bad ever happened, but every time a situation like that happened, like, oh my God, that was a really close call, like that was scary. If it was anyone else, like, whoa, I would be concerned for them, and that guilt would set in, that shame would set in, and then I was depleted. I was energetically hungover and literally physically hungover, and my body would be like, oh my God, you know, ugh, we need to recover for like days at a time. Just get that energy back, and then I would, and then it'd be the weekend again, so I'm gonna hang out and drink and party and go do all these things again, because it's how I had fun. And Spirit would always give me this message of like, we need to rework what it is that you do to have fun, period. Like, your idea of fun. And I was always sober curious. I was always like, I wonder what it would be like if I, you know, went a few weeks without drinking at all. It's so funny too, I would convince myself in my head, like I would give myself so many excuses to continue to drink and to smoke and to do all these things that I knew weren't serving me, but for some reason I still needed to do it. I still needed to experience what it was like to fully be in the party culture. Every time I lost myself in it, I would find myself again, but I'd be like, there's something here. There is a medicine that's trying to come through from this depletion, from this addiction, as light as it was for me. Quarantine hit, you guys. For me, I was drinking a lot. I was drinking, smoking every day, one or the other or both, you know, a little bit, not like bottles on bottles, but it'd be like enough to get me by because there's nothing else to do, so I'm gonna hang out and enjoy myself by having a few glasses of wine and smoking a joint or something. And I remember I just read a journal entry that I wrote about a year ago last week. How depleted, how drained, how I was falling into this depression, into this low vibration. It's because my body was I had put my body in this low frequency, in this low vibrational state, because I was depleting its energy stores. I was using my body for pleasure, for satisfaction, to enjoy myself in the moment. What has always worked for me is like cold turkey, cutting shit out, switching up my life. And like a few days later, I was like, I know this shit doesn't serve me. Like, I'm feeling so much better vibrating at a higher frequency. Like, I could tell energetically. And so, yeah, I was, you know, it was like an on and off again thing, but I basically got my shit together in that department because it was quarantine, you know, it was different. And so then I kind of started doing this deeper work and really delving into my shadows. And then this move came around, and I realized how much of my shadows, of my unconscious beliefs, of my demons lived for this party and wanted me to experience all of this getting lost in it. Because every time, like I said, every time I got lost in it, I came back and I found myself, and it was to show me like, hey, you don't need to do this. And I was always filling a hole for something. Like I felt that I needed to like have a sensory overload with the party and the drinking and the smoking and the, you know, everything that came with it. The music and the dancing and the boys and the clubs and the shit, that it was sensory overload. I had to overload my system to go into like this, basically like a shock, this hangover shock that just plunged me down this freaking wormhole for a week. And I'm like, that's not worth it. Like, there's something here. The medicine and the lesson is that I needed to get down to what the hell that meant for me. So flash forward a few months, we moved to California where weed is literally legal, and I found myself smoking again a lot. And then the holidays came and I went home and I was partying it up. And at this point I already had this idea for VibeBright in my head. And I knew I was going to take a Reiki 1 class, and I knew that I wanted to go into coaching, into being a spiritual presence online and creating some sort of entrepreneurship brand around this. And Spirit would always give me messages like, you need to take care of the vessel, you need to take care of the vessel, you need to be a clear channel for this to work, for this to happen. Willingly ignoring it throughout the past year, you know, or a few months, that I really wanted to do this. The new year came, we came back to San Diego, and it was so funny. I kept getting like intuitive hits and these signs and synchronicities. So a big thing was that about a year ago, and I think you might be watching, I had a friend who, I was in a show with him, and we went out for drinks after the show, and it was in January, and we were like, oh, like, you know, do you want to drink? And he's like, oh no, I'm not drinking. I was like, oh, like really? I thought you did. And he was like, no, I'm doing like a no drink January. I do this every year. I'm like, oh, huh, that's cool. Interesting. And so he told me about that, and something clicked. And I remember that moment, we were at this bar and it was super crowded, pre-COVID, and I was like, huh, that'd be cool to try. Super scared, not wanting to actually commit to that. But anyways, flash forward a year later, or 2 years later, I was like, okay, I remember that. And then I had, in this online alchemical community I'm a part of, #wealth, if you're wealthy and out there watching, what's up, I love you. The practice was to give something up, give up a detrimental, draining habit and replace it with plant dieting, which is drinking tea and communing with the plant spirit, all this magical stuff. I didn't do the plant dieting as much. I was drinking some more rosebud tea, that was pretty much it. But my thing that I gave up, I was like drinking. And I got lit, y'all, during the Christmas break back home. And I just remembered I was like, I had this feeling inside, deep down, like this might be one of the last times this happens. So enjoy yourself. And I gave it to myself. And then I put 2 and 2 together. And then we come back and I had another couple friends, shout out if you're watching, who live out here in San Diego with me, and they were like, oh yeah, we're doing No Drink January. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, me too. Like, I just committed to this like 3 days ago. Like, I got serious about it, and then we were hanging out and they told me that they were doing it too. It was really encouraging and supportive and awesome to know how this kind of, you know, vibration, how this kind of magic works, you know, how the universe was showing me like, yes, you're right. Yes, thank you for picking up on that. Like, look, like this is a big confirmation. And so I went through it. I did like 3 weeks, and I was like, I think I can keep going. You thought it was gonna go the other way, didn't you? I'm like, I wasn't tempted at all. I'd see people like drinking at bars out here and stuff and ads, and I wasn't not a single part of me was like, I want to do that again at all. And I had this thought, I was like, you know what if we kept going after January? Because my plan was to just, you know, go back to normal after January. I started my Reiki class in February, and I kept not wanting to touch alcohol at all, weed at all. And I just noticed too at the gym, I was getting like all these like benefits, and I was feeling stronger and healthier and clear-headed, and my energy was just like vibrant, and I was more present and aware, and I had way more patience, and all these little things that kind of started coming through as time went on. And I'm like, I feel now like a clear channel. I feel now like I can truly walk the walk and talk the talk. Like, I'm not shackled by these chains of wanting to have to go drink, having to drink to hang out with people, going to party to have fun. I had to go from like 100 back down to 0, because if not, I wouldn't have committed to it. Now let's play ball. Now let's level up. Now let's get this shit together. And then the second that happened, it was like 3 weeks I gave it all up. And I was like, VibeBright is like definitely a thing. It's coming back. And I became more present online. All these different things like started coming through for me. And like I was having these ideas and birthing different, you know, services and stuff. And now we're here with this channel. I do this to share with anyone who may be experiencing a similar thing, having similar challenges. You're not alone. I was always like, all these spiritual people out here like never talking about this kind of stuff. And I felt so separate and alone in it, as if it was a battle only I was experiencing, because I was so deep in these practices and like so in tune with spirit and the unseen and like all this magical shit. And I was like, well, I'm still like, I'm craving to go party and lose myself and get drunk on the weekends. Like, I don't get it. I felt like a hypocrite. I felt like I was a phony. I don't know. And it's not that, it's that I had to go through it for a reason, and there was medicine there. But I also had to confront it to level up and do something about it, and process it, all of it. And for me personally, again, it was like day and night. I was able to stop 100% and not look back. Whereas other people, probably not for you. Probably might not be where you're called to. If you are called to it, consider this a sign. Try it out, just out of curiosity. See what happens. I do this to share my story, my perspective, my journey so far. I'm going on 3 months now. 3 months. Sober Sally. We're loving it. Jared and I's relationship has gotten so much better. He loves me, like for real now. Before he was like, now he really loves me, right? Now he said he's always loved me. So yeah, you guys, if you're going through any of this, you're not alone. I'm here for you. There are support systems out there. There are groups. Please consult licensed professionals out there to help you if you're really seeking some help. And know that you're not alone in this journey, in any addiction, in any of these issues. You're not alone. Thank you so much for tuning in and for watching, you guys. I'm sending you so much love and light. Thank you for hanging out, for listening to my story today. It really means a lot that you're watching this. And I feel so much better. It's kind of something I've been wanting to talk about for a while now. Jared and I love you. Make sure you tune in next time. See you guys around. Thank you for coming over, supporting the channel. I love you very much. Keep vibing bright out there, man.